Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines. It's good to be back here in the city. As I was about to record, this building right here has leveled up to level 3. You can see here it says no level up info available. And we've just become a big town. What an amazing way to start the episode. This is brilliant. We can now have policies for tax on different areas. We can do level 5 unique buildings. We've got the metro, that means an underground train station which will help us with traffic, and we've got some more taxation policies, as well as, exactly what we needed, some of the higher density zones. That's awesome. This is all the stuff that I wanted to do in this episode. So, like always, a like reminder for all of you, 2,000 likes and there'll be another episode tomorrow, which will be great. Thank you again for reaching those likes on the last video. That one has 3,000 at the moment, which is crazy stuff. But there we go, we're going to dive right into it. And we have 4 out of 5 households. Not quite sure what that means exactly. But anyway, let's zoom in on this building because it looks kind of small and strange, but I've got a feeling it's a bit more of a luxurious build perhaps. Sort of looks like a bit of a beach house, doesn't it? Interesting build, but there you go. The land value around here is increasing the housing, I do believe. Let's pull that up, land value, quickly. That's one of the things we want to do. There's a few things we want to do in this episode for sure, as well as those new things that we just unlocked. So, land value is that one right there. It's still taking me a while, and that's actually quite average. And I could have swore this didn't go up to the colour green before. It went up to like a teal colour. So maybe we've done something like our actual land value can go up even higher now, or maybe something else happened. I don't know, maybe I'm going a little bit crazy there. You can see there's some green popping up in this area. With a few more parks and adjustments, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get the land value up quite high in that area. But one of the things I want to do first of all is over here. This right here is sort of the right thing, but I've done it the wrong way around, as someone pointed out. What we want here is an overpass that goes through the middle, through the for the main flow of traffic. That's this road right here. And then we want these slip roads to go from the main road into it. So we're actually going to build that together. I'm going to pause the game, and I also got a comment saying build a bridge. So I'm going to go through that again, and I'll show you how it's done. This should be very quick actually, because I have gotten fairly comfortable with the road building. So we want this to be a 2-lane, and it's going to go in both directions. So we need to click on one end, pull it forward, and then press page up to make the road go up. So we'll do that, we'll drag it across there and then go back down again. In fact, it actually snaps back down. Apparently if you hold shift it will keep the same height, but there it's snapping back down, so maybe not. Now the next thing for us to do is to select the highway, grab one of these highway ramps and bring it off the side. So this is going, yeah, that's the outbound connection. So if you want to leave and get back on the road, you go that way, and the inbound to come off the road is on that side. And then we'll just get these parallel, which you probably could do by connecting the road across temporarily, but we'll just kind of wing it like that. And let's do the same thing over here. So it looks like it's going to connect right there. And there we go, we did it. That should now be more optimal. I'll keep my eye on that for sure. But there you go. So we built a bridge, and we built the correct kind of road right here. And now all the cars are flying around back down onto the ground. I like the way that they did that, you know. They could have just made the cars disappear, but they decided to do something a little bit funny and humorous, you know. Kind of makes sense. You're, you know, changing things. This is a game after all. So anyway, let's have a look over here. This is our area that we want to try and increase the land value of. And we have a dead-end road over here. This is a one-way road, but it should be going in the opposite road. I guess if it has no start, it's going to bring up that symbol as well, I think is what's going on. So, one of the things that we have is a little bit of a pollution problem. Sorry, not a pollution, a noise pollution. Yeah, and that's going to decrease the land value of all of this. Now, the roads produce this sort of pollution as well, and I wanted to do a little bit of an experiment to see if putting down individual trees would actually help with any of this. If we were to put a lot of trees around here, would that help with noise pollution? You might think yes, you might think no, but it might help with regular pollution as well. So I'm going to be planting down lots of trees around here. Do these have a maintenance cost? They do not. You just plant them down, they look after themselves. So we could actually have like a nice little flower bed in here, Do we have flowers or is it just trees? It's going to be like a tree bed then. You could do something pretty aesthetic and pretty with this roundabout by putting down lots of trees. But the other thing is we've got a heavily polluted area over here. Now just looking at this edge where the industries have been collapsed, you can see that the purple stuff, which is the pollution, is heading back in a little bit. And that makes sense as to why this icon is purple now. That makes a lot of sense. So what I want to do is kind of put a ring of trees around the outside. We probably won't do all of that right now. Can we also drag? No, we can't drag, so we've got to continuously click like that, which is really annoying. But we're going to put a ring of these trees around the outside just to see if that helps at all. I'll do all of that in a moment when we make a cut. And also I'm going to put them inside this area as well. And this is an experiment just to see if we can reduce or remove the pollution with these trees. If we can, it means that later on we can then turn this zone into something else, which is a really good thing to know. You know, when you're playing this game and planning out cities and stuff, you start off with a limited area. And so if you know you can put in one thing temporarily and remove it later, then that is obviously a good thing. So what we're going to do is build some industrial zones around here. We're just going to start off with these ones, and we'll let people move into it. There is a demand for it as well. In fact, there's a demand for everything. Now, the other thing that I want to build is this high-density residential zone. Originally, I was going to build all of this like that, and I've got a feeling if we do it, it's going to bring down the land value. So let's just do an experiment. We'll put one block right there. We're also going to put a block of this on the opposite side, the high-density commercial. We've got lots of demand for that as well. And when I say a block, I actually mean we're going to fill up this entire strip. Now this stuff I do believe causes a fair amount of noise pollution as well, which is something we've got to keep an eye on. But there you go, we now got a nice commercial district along here as well. Now because they're on this side of the road, that might slow down the traffic on this road right here, but at the moment things are looking pretty good, so I don't think we have too much to worry about. Now the other thing we need is some offices, and I'm not sure where exactly we should put those, but I think we'll put it close to this residential area. So what we're going to do is continue expanding this across. That'll include me building a few more of these services like schools and stuff in this area over here, and then you can see because of the sea this is going to come down. Now I got a comment saying you should be careful about all that water, you're going to make people sick, and I don't know if this pollution would. I think if you were maybe living right on the very edge of the coast, then the pollution might affect you a little bit. So what I'll probably do is move this road back just a little bit, bring it all the way over, and we'll extend our residential zone all the way across this side as well. But then after that, I'm not sure what the plan will be, probably to build some offices down in this area right here. And are our trees having an effect? It's really hard to tell. So we'll put down more of those, we'll do all of what I just described, and I'll be back with you in a second. Yikes. You can see here we have a little bit of a garbage situation. I've tried to take care of this and it's failed, so I've taken a new measure. As you can see now, the garbage symbols are starting to disappear. That's because we have a landfill site over here. The traffic is getting quite bad, really bad actually, in the city, and so we've sent some trucks over from this side, because when I built another one over here it didn't really make a difference because they get stuck in this area, although this place has got a problem as well. I don't know where the trucks for this area are then. Doesn't make much sense, but there you go. We've got some more problems to solve. That's what this game is. You just try and expand and then the problems get bigger and bigger. You can see now they're starting to get quite urgent, which is annoying because we're trying to develop this area right here. Is it me or is that a garbage truck going through? Did I see a couple of the icons disappear? Maybe, maybe not. Anyway, it's going to get solved now by the looks of it. We might want to have another dump somewhere over here so there's another access road into this area. Yeah, they haven't really done too much, have they? It's going to take a while. If we speed this up, that should start to go a lot quicker. They'll get their way over there eventually. But anyway, we're ready to expand this other area. And we did some experiments before, didn't we? We wanted to find out if the noise pollution could be affected by trees. This round here doesn't seem to have any difference. Kind of put like a barrier of trees around these areas, and you can see it doesn't seem to affect it either. So that's that. These buildings are abandoned. The reason why, by the way, is because they want some more skilled workers. So we're going to have to build a university. I think those third tiers of commercial buildings and office spaces need the university. So we're going to build one of those. What else did we check out as well? The trees and the pollution, you can see here, it doesn't seem to be doing too much of a big difference, does it? So who knows? That's how that is at the moment, I guess. And the next thing for us to do is expand this area over here. So, oh, by the way, this little block down here seems to fit in just fine, this high density one. So we're going to include some more of those in these areas. We'll make all of this high density. Actually, the trees are going to go. They didn't seem to have a positive effect. If they did, we could leave them in there as a barrier of sorts. And these power lines can now go, can't they? They're taking up valuable space. They're ugly. People don't like them. Off you go. There we go. And look at that. We've got some nice big areas coming in now. So I think we'll do the same thing again, actually. We're going to have a mix of both. So we'll just drag a big zone across like that. And look at that. Our residential demand has actually dropped. No one's going to be moving in here. And as you can see, I put in some parks and services in place already. We've got a high school, a primary school, and several parks. But they're not actually going to be used just yet because we don't have any residential demand. That's all sort of diminished since we needed it a while back. So now we need to fulfill this demand right here, which I think is going to be for offices. And if you look at the traffic we have here, and by the way, this area seems to be operating really well. The whole one-way road system seems to just continuously move the traffic through, which is cool. And we've got a fire station over here as well because one of the buildings burnt down. So we want a university, we want office spaces. I'm looking at this area right here and I'm thinking we should do something nice. Pull off a road from over here. Or actually, we want people to use the roundabout, so maybe what we'll do is pull it off of this side right here. I don't know, I'll figure a way to connect them. And then we'll have a university in the middle of some offices. That should be pretty cool. And we're going to go away from this whole grid system as well. I know a lot of you want to see big curved roads. What I'm thinking is when we buy this plot of land over here, we'll curve a massive road around like this to this area, and then we can build a nice big residential area on this side that isn't a grid formation. We can do something pretty with the space that we have. But for now, I'm going to try and lay this out. I want to do something interesting with paths because you can build roads, and if you go to parks, I do believe, you can also build footpaths as well. So maybe we can do something cool and interesting around the university. But basically, we're going to use up this space right here for all of that. This is really cool. I am really liking this layout right here. If we click on the zones thing, if you have a look at this, we can have some really cool blocks of office buildings on this outer circle around here. And yeah, you can kind of see how I built this, and I was kind of curious as I was doing this. It takes a little bit of time, you know, got to place down a lot of temporary roads, remove them, try different things. But is this something you'd like to see built on camera, so when you get the game yourselves you would be able to kind of follow the principles here? Because what I've done is I've laid down a lot of roads. These ones right here, I think they're the cheapest ones. The paths might be a little cheaper, but either way, I started off by pulling out a grid like this to there, and then from that point I came across and I built the entrance. Then I pulled the roads up to create a central point here, at which we could then build a circle around. So you've seen that technique before. I just finished doing this outer one right here, and originally the plan was for it to go around the whole way, except I've kind of made this a little bit too close to the motorway down here. By the way, this is a one-way road going in and going out. We've got trees on all the roads, which might increase the land value, something we could try in this area over here. But what I just finished doing is the outside one, like I said, so I wanted to show you the technique for that. So what you do with the curve tool is you bring it out to this point over here. However, if you go to the road, it's going to automatically place it. Like, that's your curve, and then when it's coloured in, that's when you're placing it. So the actual point we're going to is that corner right there, and by putting the roads like this, we can make a grid, and then we can make sure we connect to the right point like that, and then when we curve the road, we can bring it down here. As you can see, that's how I did it before. So now I'm looking at the connections onto this thing, and what I'd like to do is reduce the amount of cross sections that we have leading into this area. Now the university is going to go in the middle, so if we remove that, that's one less down there. I'm thinking if we remove this one here, these two on the sides, then you can see we've got T-junctions everywhere, basically, which is really cool. 5 T-junctions, you can get to the outside ring. That's going to have loads of offices on it. It's going to look so cool when it's built up. Oh, this is going to be great. Right, anyway, let's get that university, and you see we've got to put it here in the middle. So we've got to modify those roads. We're going to upgrade them as well, but modifying them should be relatively simple. Let's go out. I think it was 2, but we'll go 3 like that, since there's already a guide road for that. Does that actually affect... Well, I'll tell you what, we're not going to use the building spaces on the inside here. I'm going to use the outside road, and then maybe we'll also put some on this road in these spaces as well, but for now... We're not going to put them on the inside of the ring ever, I think, so it should be okay. Right, demolish, demolish, demolish. Get that university. Actually, let's upgrade the road type first. What one do we want to go with here? I'm thinking it's not going to be too big a deal, but if ever the traffic coming to the university gets really high, it could be a problem if we need to upgrade the road to the next one, because after you go to the next density, it's going to take up more space. So let's just upgrade that the whole way around. That looks very, very cool. And yeah, so this one right here is slightly thicker. However, the 6-lane road, that's actually the same width as the 4, which is something good to know if you're going to upgrade the roads. Right, at last, the university can go into place. Let's put it right in the middle. Yeah, that looks amazing. But now it's going to need power, of course. And what I'd like to do is have the power run through the offices so we can use a minimal amount of these lines. But for now, we're going to have to use them. So let's connect it up right there. We'll jump across to that bit, then we'll jump across that road, and we'll connect it to that right there. There we go. So the university now has power. We are now educating people. Let's resume the game and put in some offices. It needs water as well, not just power, of course. Let's go like that. Can we do the curve tool with the pipe? We can't. That would have been interesting because we could have curved it all the way around here to get water to where all of the offices are going to be. Let's just connect this the whole way across as well. Right, so that snaps to that, and then it can go across to there. And now we can zone some offices at last. We've been meaning to do this for a while now. You can see the demand is very high. We're now going to have educated workers as well. It might take a while for that to kick in though. Let's just start off with this outside ring. And I'll tell you what I need to do. I need to upgrade a couple of roads there, don't I? Because I've completely forgotten about that. So we'll go to the nice ones with the trees. Not the one way though. Just upgrade those quickly. There we go, very cool, very nice little area here with the offices. It might take a while for those to be filled in. There might not actually be any demand for them as well. You know, this right here could be either or. And clicking on them doesn't give us any more information. But you can see, there go the offices. Let's speed up the game. Let's see them being constructed. I love the way this works in this game. Very cool with the scaffolding. And there we go, we've got a ring of houses. So what are their demands? They need electricity and probably people at the moment, but we can give them electricity. That's going to be relatively simple. Just connect that to there. Now that's going to create the grid. Awesome. And yeah, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? So now that the demand for that is going down, the residential one is coming up. We need more workers in the city. We're going to be able to educate people now, and we've gone up to a small city. That is amazing. Have I reached this population before? Yes, I have. I remember playing around with the hydro dam. So we can now set up some new policies for small business enthusiasts. That's like loans and grants, etc. I do believe. Industrial space planning. Wow, I messed that up. Space planning, that one will help quite a bit. Let's see what it says. Doubles the amount of goods produced by an industry building. Upkeep 6 cents per industrial building. That is actually very different to what I thought it was. And then high-tech housing. Turns homes into much cooler smart homes. Raises the land value around them. Interesting. We might put a few of those in places, and then that way we could yeah, increase the land value. So a lot of stuff right here. We've got trains as well. We unlocked the metro earlier. I do want to work with that. But this is awesome. That looks very, very cool. We can add more office buildings here. In fact, there's demand for it, so why don't we do that right now? But I think what I really need to do is just take a step back and look at all the things that are going on in the city again, which I'm going to do off camera. That's where I check through all of these charts, look for problems, address them, etc. But there you go. That is really nice. Let me know what you think of this right here. I think it looks lovely. And there was more that I wanted to do to this, actually. I wanted to add some trees and parks. Why don't we add a park right now? And some footpaths and things like that as well. So I'll probably do all of that in a bit. But yeah, we'll add a little park in here as well. Alright, this area just looks amazing. I put in loads of trees and some paths. I really like the way the paths actually connect up to the other bits. It looks very cool. And it's good to see lots of traffic in this area. Now if we have a look at our educational statistics over here, we can look at this right here, graduated citizens. So 73% of our elementary students have graduated. If we look at high school, it's just 40 and university is 13. So some good statistics right there. What I want to do is put down another high school. In fact, I just want to put down more facilities everywhere at this point. So if we have a look, you can see we've got 2 high schools over here, but none for this area. So we're going to put one right over here in this little space next to the crematorium at the back, which is probably going to be a problem soon as well. So that's going to affect most of this area right here, which is good. We've got a bigger capacity. We should be graduating more students. I also want to check on how many primary schools. We've got 3 in that area. We could put a 4th and go crazy on education, I might consider doing that later on. So another problem right here is with garbage. At the moment, it's starting to pile up. Our landfills are quickly filling in. And on the other game that I play, I did an experiment where I built loads and loads of these, and I built lots and lots of incinerators to burn the trash as well. And I built so many of these, I could barely keep up, and had to keep building landfills as well. Which is really strange, because this is supposed to burn the rubbish, so we don't have to put as much of it into the landfill. But I'm going to look into that before I make any decision, because maybe you can only burn a certain percent and some of it does have to be buried, in which case we'd build probably like a long-term facility for the burial of trash, like a whole designated area for it. But if we have a look through these, you can see everything's actually going pretty well. Our healthcare is extremely good, which is nice to see. Our average health isn't particularly high though. And the death care, that number is not really increasing or whatever yet, so we might not need a crematorium for a while. I'll probably build one over here when we do need that. So everything else is looking good. So at this point, I'm not too sure what to do. The traffic situation, as always, is difficult. At least in this area here, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? The one-way street's probably doing their thing. And we've still got some demand for industrial, so maybe what we'll do right now is zone these areas down below, or maybe I'll make more over here. So you've got a fire station up there. I want that fire station to be useful, and it's not going to be useful for this area down here, so we're probably going to have to build another one. Let's build another 4 blocks of those. Let's also fill in that section right there. And where would a fire truck best be put? At this end right here, then it can get to all of the streets, of course. Right, so we'll put one right there. And let's have a quick look at our budget panel as well. Now this is another thing I noticed. So many things to keep your eye on. Crime has been on the rise, so we should probably put more money back into that and see if that affects it. So let's just bring the budget right up right there. And actually we're doing pretty well with our money, so we can bring these budgets back up to around 100. But everything is good. I don't see any reason to raise the taxes, although maybe in this high residential area it's at 9%. In fact, these are still on the default, aren't they? So let's bring that up to 11. And we'll put these on 11 as well. And we should see our income jump up here. So we're around 10,000. And now we should really see it jump forward a little bit, which is good. Not seeing a huge jump down here in the income. Now that I think about it, we don't have a lot of those high density areas just yet, do we? We've only got a couple. But anyway, I've set up a park down here. We're going to open up a policy for this, which is going to be industrial space planning, which means we're going to double the amount of goods, and it's going to cost 6 per building. So while there's not a lot of buildings here, that's going to reduce the cost a little bit, I guess, but then we're going to be doubling the goods, which means more money made on exports. So that's going to go down right there. That should be very appealing for a lot of the people that want to move in here and build their industries. And I kind of want to read through some of these other ones and have a look at what else we could do in this area. But I did say I build the metro. I think we're going to have to save that for the next episode, because I've looked at the time that we've been playing this for and we're probably running quite short. But we have made a fair amount of progress. Would have liked to have seen all of this fill up, and at the moment the demand is very low. And it feels like it's for the higher density stuff, because if you have a look here, each time I assign a block like this or a section of it, they move in pretty rapidly, but not into these other areas, which are actually starting to creep into. So maybe the demand is catching up. But let's zone that all the way across there. That'll bring power to the park as well. And I think that'll do for now. Alright, that really is all we got time for. I always want to do so much more in these videos, but I guess doing them daily, we're going to get through all the things we want to do eventually. So I've started unzoning this area right here. We're going to be moving them down into this area. You can see the traffic here is getting a little bit more intense. This section of the road might need some improvement. Perhaps we put the junction further back, and then this slip road off is a little further along, so it's not all happening in one junction. But it does look good. This bit here looks like it needs some work. Obviously a lot of traffic going through that. It's a little shortcut out of the city, but I'm very happy with things how going here. We're progressing in the right direction, expanding steadily, and things are looking good. So if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like, 2,000, and we'll have another episode of this tomorrow. But that's it from me. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.